Assalamu alaikum, Darshak. If you just joined us from the break, before the break, I did mention, I said basically Maghrib prayer, but it was a mistake. It was Asr prayer, so I'm really sorry. And we're talking about today about house improvement. If you just joined us, we talk about house improvement, and I have a special guest who's here in the studio. If you just joined us from Classic Kitchen, called Muhammad Ali Sheikh, and Managing Director. Ali, we talked about the improvement of kitchens, and we talked earlier on about the worktop of the kitchen. So it is very expensive. I believe one of the expensive product pool in the kitchens compared to the units. Yeah. What's the price difference between granite and that? There's another two more worktop. I don't know the name. If you can explain.
Yeah,
to
no.
those.
I mean, there are different types of work surfaces that you can choose for your kitchen. Sometimes it depends upon your preferences, and sometimes, and a lot of the times, it depends upon how far the budget can allow for that as well. But you have granite work surfaces, which is 100% natural stone.
Okay.
You have quartz work surfaces, and they're very, very similar, but quartz is man-made.
What's that one comes in like a one piece nowadays? Is it?
That's called Corian.
Corian, is it?
Corian, yes.
This is tend to use like a lot. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of like up-end houses like they tend to use that with a big island on the middle. Is this one of the best selling at the moment, or?
Well, I think there's a big difference between how you can use granite and quartz and how you can use Corian. Because Corian can be melted, unlike stone, it can be formed into different shapes.
So Corian, if you put something hot dishes, it can get melted, is it?
It can.
Okay, so it's not really something practical for Asian family. Imagine you create a curry and you start putting something underneath by mistake. We tend to do that, yeah?
Absolutely, we do tend to do that, especially because we have a lot of family that help in the kitchen, and they don't always know what or how to use the work surfaces. So what you'll tend to find is that I normally say to people that if you like to have a nice looking kitchen that you don't use, you can use Corian. If you want to use it, then it's probably best to go
most English people, they tend to use, like nowadays, anyone who's decorating their kitchen, they tend to use Corian, yeah?
Absolutely.
There's another one comes in like a granite, but it's got like a shiny stone, like a diamond stone. What is that? Is this a granite or?
It can be granite as well, and it can be quartz. So what they do is they sprinkle mirror.
So how long does it take to fit in granite? Do you have to do it in that property, or you can ready-made everything and just come and fit it into the house, or? Yeah,
kitchens will always tend to take a little bit longer to fit because the granite or the quartz work surfaces can't be cut on site. So they tend to be measured or templated, as we call it. They go away, they make it specifically bespoke for your room.
Okay.
They come back usually about a week later to fit it in. So normally people have to wait an extra week in between for the work surfaces.
For the granite. Obviously, kitchen product is very expensive. Average kitchens can be start from, if you want to get good quality kitchen, anything from 10 to 15,000. Minimum £5,000 you can say nowadays, yeah?
Absolutely.
You can go to some of them company and you can get product for £1,000.
Sure.
Obviously, we're talking about slightly higher end kitchen, yeah? Someone wants to do a luxury kitchen, in other words. So what would you recommend? Sometimes people, even myself, sometimes I tend to try to cut a corner, and you probably will disagree with me that. Sometimes you said, I've got a brilliant fitter, and I'm going to fit my kitchen, but I'm spending 15 grand or 20 grand in the kitchen. Would you advise someone to do that? Or would you advise to get from the company their own fitter?
I think at the end of the day, each customer has to make their own decision as to which fitter they use. But probably one of the most important aspects of doing any kitchen is the quality of the person who's going to do the installation. That's absolutely vital. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you spend £10,000 or £50,000 on your kitchen. If the person doing the installation is not up to the job, then it's never going to look nor work like the amount of money that you spent on it. Often what you'll tend to find is that if you use the company's installation, then you always have somewhere to go to either complain about something or to talk to somebody about something. If you're using a standalone fitter, then you're in a situation where if that fitter doesn't want to pick up the phone, you're not going to be able to speak to anyone.
So if someone use, say, like your company, suppose, and if they get their own fitters, your fitters, if anything goes wrong, then obviously you take the blame for it. Is that correct, or? Well,
it depends really. I mean, it's if you go out and you buy a TV, and the company you bought the TV from says we can come to your home and set it all up. It's an expensive TV system you bought. and we can help set it up. And you go, that's okay, I'll do it myself. If you do it yourself and mess it up, you can't go back then and tell the TV company it's your fault.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's why it's always recommended. I mean, we design and install probably 95% of all the kitchens that we do. And that's because people are investing a lot of money into their kitchen, and they want to make sure that the people who are doing the installation are people who do it day in and day out.
Let me give you one quick scenario about myself.
Sure.
I bought a kitchen, very expensive kitchen, and I had a builder. He's got all the stuff to fit kitchen. He came to my house here. He spent 2 days fitting two units, and he keeps saying it's not professional kitchen. Then I got rid of him, and I called the same company I ordered from, because originally I thought they're going to charge me too much money. And that company came in fitted within 3 days, and it was hassle-free without me, getting stressed. And I had to spend 2 days. So maybe sometimes it's not, worthwhile to use a, like a normal kitchen fitter rather than professional, someone who knows, who's doing every day.
You hit the nail on the head. The word stress.
Yeah.
We live in a busy world. We got other things to do. We don't have the time to sit and stand and watch over somebody. So essentially, people come to companies like us simply because they want a stress-free, hassle-free service.
Those microwave and oven comes in a fitted. How difficult, if they break down, how difficult to repair them?
Oh, very easy.
Is that comes under warranty? And
Absolutely. It's a common misconception
because some people get worried because it's a make to measure.
Sure.
Sometimes you can't go to a place like Harry's or any electric goods store, and you can't go and buy them because it's a special made, special size. So obviously they're expensive because the average oven costs about £500-600 minimum. So would you advise people to get those or just get ordinary standard?
No, absolutely. I think, we very, very rarely do anything standalone now. Majority of everything is integrated. People like to have things hidden. They don't like to have gaps in the side that they have to keep cleaning. So
what's the common thing you get from Asian people?
I think Asian people, the most common thing in an Asian kitchen is the ease of keeping it clean. And obviously we use certain spices and oils in our cooking. Yeah. So they want to make sure that the kitchen can be maintained and it will still look good in 10 years' time like it did the first day.
Yeah. Because, like in granite, like if you've got cream colored granite, I notice sometimes you can get huldy, like yellow stuff, those marks on it. And it's very difficult to clean it. To get rid of it once it's gone into it.
Absolutely.
Unless you use a professional product. So most of Asian people, do they get like white light color, or doesn't everyone's got different kinds of taste? Or
I think this is the important thing when you come to something like a kitchen. People often ask, they look very similar, but what's the difference? Why is one more expensive than the other? And the difference is the material used, the quality of the product. And that's what determines how well it lasts, how well it cleans. So for example, a lot of people will buy work surfaces or granite work surfaces, and what they won't do is have them sealed or seal them 3 years later. So you've got a natural stone product that you're not protecting, or you've not been taught how to protect. And then eventually, of course, it's got no protection on it, so stains will leave their mark.
Talk about fitted cupboard, yeah? Obviously, most people nowadays, even any average family nowadays have fitted cupboard, yeah? What kind of price range do they start from, like fitted cupboard?
Fitted cupboards are very popular because, again, we like to try and use all the space available rather than a freestanding cupboard. We like to try and utilize the full space from floor to ceiling for the amount of storage that we need nowadays in the home. And they vary again, depending upon the materials and how bespoke you'd like it to be. But a bespoke bedroom should cost anything from £1,000 to £5,000 for the master suite, if you like. But what's also very popular nowadays is walk-in wardrobes.
Unless if you've got enough space in it.
Absolutely. So as people are extending their homes, they're starting to think more about their lifestyle and the things they have. So en-suites are very, very popular now. So you'll find a lot more houses with en-suites for the bedrooms. Do you know
en-suite like any kind of like bathroom suite? Do you provide that, or does your company only provide the cupboard?
Well, we specifically specialize in the kitchens, but of course, over 26 years, we've got a lot of clients who know our installation team, maybe know our service, know how we do things in our company, and often they ask us to do bedrooms and they ask us to design the bathroom for them. So we do various few bits and pieces. We do home offices as well for them. Basically, one of our specialities is that if you can draw it, we can make it.
Okay, Sheikh Bai, we're going to take another short break. You're watching Business Talk, and we're talking to Sheikh Bai about improving house property. So we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned and come back to us after the break. Assalamu alaikum.